Or go, all right, come on command. Okay.
Basically, that's what I was going to say. Get hard on command, come on command.
Dude, that was the toughest part for me, and also having to compensate with like an IRL partner is another thing. Versus while we're just so easy, we got play space, we can just do this, So this makes our life a lot easier.
Oh my god, where am I going?
We're taking off.
Well, that's the thing, though. People think I think the misconception is people think, oh, well, they're just manipulating their avatars up and down. But what I've learned from talking to y'all is that you have IRL things that you use, like exercise balls and like benches and stuff.
So, like what I'm using to sit on right now. This is how I mean sit in VR almost always, but yeah, we all have special tools.
So like using a ball like that, using a ball like that, does it give you more authentic motion? Like why use the ball sort of when you're bouncing on it? And welcome into this episode of the Devs Podcast. I'm your host, Atramentum_X, variety streamer and LewdTuber. This is episode 38, and we're coming to you live from VR for the first time. You may not recognize it because you've never seen this avatar before, unless you've bought one of Lady Mystique's sets. But hi, I'm your host, Atramentum. We're talking sex work in VR today, and we've brought together some of the preliminary content creators who make lewd content on Chill Out VR. We're gonna call it Chill Out VR because we don't want to call it the other thing. With me, as always, is my host, Lady Mystique. Say hi, Mystique.
Hi, everyone.
We're gonna have our panel do some introductions. We're gonna go starting from Andy Bun on the couch over there. Andy, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andy. I am a lewd creator and ASMR artist. I stream on Twitch and on Fansly, and I'm mainly in VR, but I do other things. and I'm so happy to be here, Atra. Thank you for letting me be here.
Andy has made a couple of appearances on the show, including, I believe, the Girlfriend Experience. Thank you so much, Andy, for rejoining the podcast, and it's lovely to have you. Andy is a talented dancer, creator, and ASMR artist, also streaming here on Twitch, so go check that out. Next up, making their first appearance on the Depths Podcast is Yuuki Trap.
Hello there, my name is Yuuki Trap. I'm your professional raw dogger, soon to be professional facialist too in more ways than one. I am a 3D creator. So I make a bunch of 3D art, and yeah, I am a LewdTuber for a hot minute now, and I've been in the sex industry for a very, very long time, even before VR. But thank you for having me on the show.
She made me.
That's
she
true.
made me.
So key point about Yuuki. Yuuki is a 3D artist, and they help with kit bashing and making custom assets, including Andy over there. Very excited to have Yuuki on the show. Next up, I'm going to go with Papa Welsh, making his third appearance on the podcast, actually.
Good.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Yes, Papa Welsh, I make the funny, horny videos. That's all you need to know. We all know what we're making loads of stuff.
Yeah, Papa Welsh is a VR photographer, videographer, organizes collabs. He is the collaboration king, and he knows how to get that right shot in Chill Out VR. We're excited to have Papa Welsh back on the podcast. Making their first appearance on the pod is Kathiel. Kathiel, introduce yourself.
Hi. So I'm Kathy. I'm, I guess, a silly tomboy streamer. I do the content on Fansly. I do streams on Twitch, and thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Just give me 1 sec. I'm going to adjust everyone's voices, because to me, y'all are soft, but to chat, you're all extremely loud. Okay.
I'm so sorry for your guys' eardrum.
Okay. Chat, just give me a thumbs up if that's better for the voices, and we'll adjust as we go. But yeah, so we've had an episode here on The Depths about VR, but that was quite a while ago. I think it was like episode 5. We're up to episode 38 right now. So we wanted to sort of talk more about the process of creating lewd content and sort of like the decision to make lewd content as LewdTubers in VR. So I guess my first question to our panel is, If you were a sex worker before and chose to make content in VR, what was part of that decision for you? What's the appeal of VR for you? And if you are completely new to sex work and VR, why choose VR over, say, IRL or ASMR? Oh, wait, before we do that, Lady Mystique, please introduce yourself. Sorry.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lady Mystique. I'm still that pink one that never stops talking. I stream over on Fansly. I do stream on Twitch sometimes, but yeah, I need to spin that back up again. I make pre-recorded content, audios, ERP, and photo sets. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Mystique. Mystique currently exists in my blind spot. That's why I have to like turn my head like this to see Mystique.
Yeah, we have to like...
Yeah. That's why I forgot to have Mystique introduce herself, but thank you so much, Mystique. I appreciate you.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
It is what it is. I'm not used to having my head on a swivel in VR, what can I tell you? Right, but the question, why VR?
I guess for me specifically, I have been I've done IRL, aka flesh tubing, as we would call it, right? For a very, very long time. I think ever since I was like 18, like legit. So being able to do VR content is a lot of ease at mind. And like for me specifically, because I am a trans female, I have my body dysphoria, and there's just some times where I just do not really feel like like beautifying myself up and having to look good on camera and stuff like that, and it just becomes much of a hassle. But with the power of VR, being able to just put on a headset, put on a really, really cute avatar that you bought or made yourself, right? And be at your 100% and just act out as your character, you're able to kind of like escape from that IRL reality and be able to be a different person and someone that you're more comfortable with personally. So when it comes to VR, it has definitely made my life easier, but it's a love-hate relationship when it comes to it, because just like IRL, you gotta look pretty, you gotta figure out your outfits, we're gonna use what toys you're gonna be using, versus VR is like, I gotta make sure my avatar is like this, I gotta make sure my audio is this, I gotta make sure like all my wires are plugged in correctly, my play space is, it both has its kind of ins and outs. So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I also was a flesh tuber before I got into the VR and virtual reality space of things. And I loved being an IRL creator. It was fun, but really did take a lot out of me to have to worry about like making sure I look okay and making sure like just my physical appearance was all right. Where like, yeah, I am a conventionally attractive person and I like those things, but like I do still have like body issues and stuff where like there were some days where I couldn't create content because of the way I was feeling physically or anything like that. And so being able to have an outlet where I can still create content even though I'm not the most confident is great. But then on top of it, there is so much in the virtual world that I would have never been able to explore sexually in real life too. Like
It just wouldn't be safe. or
no, not
physically
safe
possible.
or physically possible, or like Welsh being a furry, like yeah, there's like furry costumes and stuff, but there is, sorry not to call you out, but there is more of like a fantasy that we're able to cross into that we wouldn't be able to in real life, and being able to explore that side of myself has been really fun. And that was like a really big appeal of things, is being able to explore things that I wouldn't be able to in real life. But then also on top of it, who doesn't want to be a cute anime girl with bunny ears and pink and black hair? Like, so that was a big part of it too.
Yeah. Well, following on from what Andy said, it's like for me, it's that exactly thing. Is that the reason I started making content in the first place is because I got this Avi and I was like, oh, that Avi's cool, and everyone was just like, oh, I want to fuck that. So I just eventually went, oh well, I'll make some funny content. I'll make the funny Twitter stuff, and that was it. That's where it all started. But like it is just the fact of I do make human stuff, but it's not really my main thing. I make all my furry shit, and it works well, and it does well, and I'm happy about it. But as well, it's like, by the way, just going to quickly say, never heard the term flesh tubing before. That shit caught me off guard.
You're just out of it. You're out of the loop.
That really caught me off guard. I was like, what the That really got me, that one. But yeah, like Andy said, you could do shit on this where you won't be able to do in real life. Like, say, like people content, and once again using Andy as an example, people doing stuff in like obviously they could do it in real life, but it's very risky. Like doing shit in like graveyards and you know what I mean, like actual public spaces and all that shit. But like not, it's all easier, and you can do it from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to actually organise to meet up with people who are from, you know, America or whatever, because that would be a massive cost for everyone. Guess what? This is almost free if you do it like like that way, like organising it.
And
That's
taking a dick the size of the size of your calf, you know, it's also just physically very risky.
I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, you have no idea, right?
So
Yeah, no.
on my side, I also was a flesh tuber before. Using that term that everyone was using. Also started as a flesh tuber, but anxiety was a bitch, to put it in a good way. And I actually took a break for like a year from flesh tubing.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Anxiety was just getting to me. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, no, it's like, I love doing this, but I gotta stop. I need to like get into the mind right. And that's when, and I was already doing VR chat at the time, and then it suddenly came to me like a year later, like maybe I can just use VR chat to start again, and using VR in general to express myself in a safe way, and where I don't have to worry about, is my hair okay? Are my eyes looking okay? Do I look sleepy on the fucking stream? No, we're good. It's okay. You know, it's just ta-da! And
the internet can be so cruel regarding people's appearance. And you know, if you're a flesh tuber, you have to almost dress and make up defensively in order not to become a meme or a subject of criticism. And I think having these avatars removes all that, because you're completely in control of how you look, at least up to like your skill level or your model maker's skill level. But you will always look like this no matter what. So it removes of the anxiety and the risk, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's other anxieties along with virtual creation, but yeah, I mean, that anxiety of just being in front of a camera as a content creator can just wear you down so much that that's the reason why so many people end up quitting a lot of the times when it comes to IRL creators. Is just they can't handle being in front of a camera and hearing, even if it's nice things that are being said about them, having just people comment about the way you look constantly can wear on you. So it is really nice that you can take that whole part of it out and just focus on the fun part of creation.
Agreed, yeah.
And if you do pre-recorded content, you can do multiple takes. I know that like you can do that in flesh tubing as well, but you can't like fly or you know
or you know, go, all right, come on command. Okay.
Basically,
Yeah,
that's what I was
exactly.
going to say. Get hard on command, come on command.
Dude, that was the toughest part for me, and also having to compensate with like an IRL partner is another thing. Versus while we're just so easy, we got play space, we can just do this, you know. So this makes our life a lot easier.
Oh my god, where am I going?
We're taking off.
Well, that's the thing, though. People think I think the misconception is people think, oh, well, you know, they're just manipulating their avatars up and down. But what I've learned from talking to y'all is that you have IRL things that you use, like exercise balls and like benches and
Yes.
stuff. You know, like,
Like
and
what
he's on
I'm
one
using
right
to
now.
sit on right now.
Bad.
This is how I mean sit in VR almost always, but yeah, we all have special tools.
So, like, using
Also
a
help
ball
you with
like
your
that.
core.
Using a ball like that, does it give you more authentic motion? Like, why use the ball sort of when you're bouncing on it?
Well, yeah, it gives you the authentic motion, but also trying to, when you're, like, so my trackers are on my ankles right now, and I have a tracker on my hip. And when you're on all fours with those trackers, it doesn't pick up your body the way you think it would. And so, and then trying to move your body the way that you would in actual sex does not always come through in the video of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to make it look as natural and realistic as possible, sometimes those realistic movements are so minuscule that your tracker isn't going to pick it up.
You have to
And
over-exaggerate everything, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, so having the
10-point
yoga
tracking.
ball, unless you have 100
10-point
trackers.
Yeah, literally. Every single joint of your body, your head, like, yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's hard.
That would work.
For those of you watching,
Also, it's
10-point tracking. So, if I'm not mistaken, that's having 10 individual trackers on your body. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Correct.
Like
Yeah.
wrists.
One for two for your elbows, one for your chest, two for your knees, two for your to your feetsies. Yeah. That's like 10-point already. Yeah. Some people would even do double hips.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
only use I
Yeah,
only
the
use
plugin.
8-point tracking. I don't have trackers for my arms.
I use 11, but I'm not
Oh,
using
wow.
all 11 right now. So I'm not using my chest. I'm not using my knees right now.
Two,
I'm
three,
just in
four,
half.
You know,
six,
for simplicity.
six.
And
That's
I'm
all I
using 2 Oculus controllers. That's all I've got.
Same. I'm in half
Free
body
tracker
right now,
game.
so I don't have any body trackers on. I'm just
3.
using my 2 controllers.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's good.
But definitely what we would want you to know, Chad, is that you don't need like a bunch of fancy trackers to make VR like porn, basically.
Oh no.
Yeah.
God, I started off in
entire
half
set.
body.
I did too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the power of
our entire
animations,
set
you
we did in
can
half
pose
body.
yourself.
Both of us.
Oh yeah, go loco.
Yeah, go loco, or you buy yourself a dedicated special type of world that puts you in those type of positions. You know what I mean? Just saying.
I was a go loco wizard.
your
I used
own
to get into
technology.
weirdest positions with go loco and manipulate it in the weirdest ways. It was so good.
They have an NSFW go logo now too.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah,
got like
it is.
better
Yes.
You
like
have that, don't you?
NSFW positions, which is really nice. Which I didn't have
Culture.
on any
Yeah.
of them that when I was doing it.
Sorry,
Did you guys remember, like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Kathiel was saying something.
Shit, was it?
They're so
Attention
quiet.
span
So
go
like,
brr.
when I hear
Yeah, it's
them
kinda
talking,
hard.
I'm like, okay, everybody silence.
I'm sorry.
Graham.
My microphone
Let them
sucks.
talk.
Sorry, Yuuki.
Yeah, I was gonna make a funny joke because, like, do you guys remember? I'm not sure if you guys were here during the time, but there was a time during VR had like only like specialty mods and stuff like that, right? I
used to
remember one
love
of the
that. They got rid of
Yeah,
it all.
exactly. So I remember back in the good old day where I just had like it connected to my what's it called, to track your hands. Leap motion, yeah, that's the word. Leap motion,
Yeah,
right?
leap
I used to give, I used to jokingly give people desktop hand jobs for money. literally. And I'm just like,
Works, I mean.
wow, if it works, it works. I guess you're happy with it. I was like, all right.
The other reason for things like yoga balls is that, you know, because we perform for hours at a time as opposed to like regular sex that takes like what, anywhere between 1.5 and 60 minutes or whatever, we need to be making big actions to be picked up on VR for an extended period.
Correct.
Trying to bounce at that sort of frequency and level without the use of some kind of bouncing device to help you, it would just be a nightmare.
Wouldn't know. Top energy too big.
That's how I did it for the longest time. No
Really?
yoga ball. So yeah, I do like 2 hours, 3 hour streams, and all manual to call it something.
Well, no wonder you've got that 6-pack.
Body
I am in
shredded.
shape, I can say that. So it helps, yes.
I'm not.
So just some definitions, chat, in case you don't know. Go-Go Loco is a set of pre-made animations that come with certain avatars. My avatar has it too. I would demonstrate it, but I'm terrified to get off this couch because I cannot get back on it. I am a VR noob. Maybe the
Yeah,
end of
this
stream
is
will show
only,
you
like-
guys. Provided I don't pop my cock out by accident.
Whoa, fastest vacation you can never squeeze.
Yeah, this is only like your second or third time actually performing and doing stuff in VR, right?
First time live. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Do it more.
We have a question from Elizabeth in chat. It's a quick question for the panel. Have any of you had any experience working with motion capture processes? I can imagine there's a lot of overlap between creative immersive VR content and doing animation reference work.
I've been approached about it, but I've never actually done it because I don't. To me, I was like, I don't have the right amount of trackers to do it. So you need to ask someone else because you need someone with a lot of trackers to do that.
That's like the ping
Or a
pong
suit.
ball thing, right? Where you just have the suit on. That's just like
Yeah, but you can do it with this. Like you could do it in half body if it's just like just like
Hand
this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like half stuff. But I got
Okay.
approached about it and it just wasn't for me because I didn't feel like I was able to, if that made sense.
right.
Uh-huh. I can say that in relation to the question, I didn't do necessarily motion capture process, but before I did this and I did flesh tubing, I did do 3D CG posting. So I'd actually animate things, capture poses, and then put them into models and then do renders of stuff and blenders and so on. It's not as direct as that because you need to clean up everything.
Right.
Mhm.
The animations always come up borked if you're going to capture them or a pose. Actually, VR helps a lot. These trackers are way better than anything you could use before, even if they're so drifty. But,
Mhm.
you know.
Oh,
but
mine drift
it's-
terribly. I have to reset my avatar every 10 fucking minutes.
I know.
Yeah, yours are very
Yeah,
smooth,
so
actually.
there's that.
Quite impressive. The fluidity of your hands or something else. And fingers, look at that.
I'm missing a finger.
That's all I can do. That's all I can do. Just finger guns.
Yeah, like when you scratch your face, Welsh, it looks like you're like shoving your middle finger all the way down your throat.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Just right. Oh, no, yeah, yeah. You do
No,
get weird overlap.
That's
don't you?
something else. That's something else.
Thank you for the gawk, obviously. Right.
Oh
So-
Christ.
On the same topic of trackers, I think there's a lot of misconceptions that to get started in VR can be expensive sort of thing. People might think they may need a custom avatar. They might think they need a whole set of trackers. So we've just discussed the trackers. You don't need a lot of trackers to do VR content, but what would you say to somebody who maybe isn't established like VTuber or a streamer or has a look, like a very distinctive look, but can't find an avatar that quite matches their look and feels kind of insecure about making content with a different looking avatar? Like, how do you sort of get over that barrier that this avatar doesn't look like you? Because like my avatar doesn't look like me, like my VTuber at all. It's some e-boy with a six-pack.
I think I'm the furthest from anything from looking like me. The thing is with me is that obviously with this Avi, I tried to get the one that's closest to me, so stocky and has a beard, and this was the closest I could get, and I was quite happy with him. But anyway, I on that topic, like my mate, she started. I think she has a custom now, but she started just using public avatars. Like just doing like content in a different avatar each time and just doing stuff in public avatars. So you don't need a custom avatar to start. You can just do stuff in publics because that's the point of being in the public avatars. You can use them for whatever you want.
Yeah.
So she was only doing solo
a
content
lot of
and stuff.
creators publish free avatars
Exactly. Yeah.
as well. Like
There's-
with me, I have a certain look and I couldn't afford a custom model at the time. So this is actually a pre-bought model, that I put a different head on. I paid someone on Fiverr to put like a different head and different hair on it. And it turned out way cheaper than buying a custom model. But I still get kind of a custom look because I learned how to like change some textures and stuff in Unity, which is also a free program. So yeah, like you can use cheap assets, and people on Fiverr will do it for like $30-40 or something if you just need something small done, like changing off the head or whatever. So
It's
you
a good
can
site for that.
customize avatars as long as the creator allows it.
You're good.
I would definitely say Fiverr is like one of the best places to start, though. This is where I got this Avi from. I got it from a creator from Fiverr because at the time, before I was following Twitter, before anything like that, I was like, I want a custom Avi. Where can I get one? I don't know anyone. I have no connections, no nothing. I was like, right, Fiverr. I'll go on Fiverr, see if there's someone who makes a custom content. And then, yeah, that's where I got my... This was my first ever custom Avi. The rest of them are through connections, through Twitter and all that shit. So, like, I eventually got to know people. And, like, I got my logo custom made by someone amazing. I got my other Avis done by someone who I met on VR. And I was like, oh my God, I used to wear their Avis, their public Avis. And I met them through doing this. And I was like, oh, buzzing. And then they then made my Avis. Like 2 of them anyway. They made my dragon and my wolf. But Fiverr is definitely the best place to start, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say, like, I think another thing you can do is that, other than like the whole public, is like, I would say like the avatar market nowadays are a lot cheaper than you'd think it might be, honestly. And like, worst comes to worst, if you really don't want to spend the money, even just joining, like, usually a bunch of like creators have like different Discords that you can join in. So wait till they have giveaways and stuff like that, and hopefully you might be able to get one there. But like, honestly, like, even if you go onto like to the Jinxie website, you know, it's the website that a lot of creators, a lot of people in general who play VR, who wants to be able to have their own like kind of quote unquote custom Avi, you can be able to go find something there and just grab something. And if you really want to pry into it and have your more own OC uniqueness, you know, you could probably learn it and try to do it yourself, or ask a friend to, you know, help you do that. Or it's just, I think it's very, very convenient nowadays. I remember when I first started, which was like around like 2017, 2018, it was so hard to come by. And like,
It was, yeah.
yeah, it's just nowadays, like, it's a lot easier for sure.
And if you can afford a custom Avi, get on Yuuki Trap's waiting list.
Stop.
I started originally using not public avatars, but avatars that I could purchase on like, it was Gumroad originally that I was looking on. And I first just started, I had a character in mind, and now I didn't start out as a VTuber like established, but I did have an OC that I knew that at some point I wanted to look the way I do now. And so it was hard at first because I didn't have something made, but I started looking on Gumroad, and I wanted to be a bunny, so I was looking at bunny characters, bunny avatars, and I would look at ones that were mainly like a color scheme that was what I wanted, so pinks and blacks and stuff like that. And I really just kind of started buying, and you'll see a lot of virtual creators that do what we do in the lewd space. They buy public avatar, or they buy those avatars that are available for sale, and some of them have learned how to edit their skin and stuff in Unity through that, which is not too hard to figure out. I did it. It's a pain, and it takes a while to learn, but it is something that is learnable, at least just editing textures. And then once you kind of learn how to do that, and if you learn how to upload an avatar, which is something you're going to have to learn to do if you want custom avatars or any sort of avatars more than just getting a public one, once you kind of have the idea of how to upload one, then you can kind of start tinkering around in Unity and learning how to change colors of things or change the skin textures and stuff. And then you can really start making things look a little bit more custom, even if it is an avatar you paid for. But really, there's nothing wrong in the VR space of just using avatars that are pre-made, whether or not they are public free ones or ones that you can buy. There's really nothing wrong with using those avatars and creating content. And then once you get a following or a fan base down who already cares about you as a creator, then they're going to be even more excited once you have the ability to invest in a custom model like what I did. Because I was creating for about 9 months before I went to Yuuki and said, okay, I am ready to get on your wait list. And then it was another like 7 before she got to me. So it was enough where it was like I had an established ability to go about doing that, you know?
Invest further and actually get a custom and such.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Or you can get down and dirty with some YouTube tutorials and learn to make your own, which is what I'm doing.
I have nightmares about when I tried that. I legit threw. I don't have the time to learn that. No. Someone do it. I pay money. No, me no do that. It's too complicated in my brain. I just do the video editing.
Honestly, Yuuki inspired me to like actually give it a good try, because like I opened Blender and like my eyes just crossed and I closed it right away. Like that happened several times before I even tried to do anything in Blender. And I found good tutorial series, and sometimes if I'm really stuck, I go, Yuuki, help me! Look! This is all patchy, what have I done?
She does.
I think this really speaks to like
but
what
yeah,
Chat's
you can
talking
learn to
about,
make it.
About like, you know, community helping you to find avatars, edit things, sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
I think it seems like there's a pretty good wealth of like knowledge sharing in the VR sex work community, it seems like.
What?
Oh,
What?
Huh?
What just
What's
happened?
Your sound broke up on my side.
yeah, your
Oh.
sound kind of broke up a little bit on my
I
side
thought
too.
Kathiel was pointing at me.
Yeah.
I was like, are my clothes gone?
No, sorry.
Oh no, okay.
Am I naked?
Will they see that I've colored my torso in black with a Sharpie to prevent TOS violation?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh god.
If I can make a quick little point about this topic specifically, I have to also put in the little reality of things where I've noticed in the marketplace really necessarily is that a lot of creators have very extensive TOSs. And like, let's say you really like this one specific avatar, but you only want a few little changes, right? You're gonna have to, double check your TOS and make sure that everything's good and everything is fine, right? Before you could make whatever edit or ask permission to send it off to a person to have them edit it for you and whatnot, right?
Right.
And as shitty as to say, like there are a bunch of creators who actually gatekeep
Will not catch
information.
you.
No, they will catch you 100%, and they actually like to gatekeep, techniques, skills, because it's going to affect the market, especially their business, right? Because now like if you show someone so much technique, so many like proper like things that you could be able to do, right? And they do it all themselves. Next thing you know, they make a store for themselves, right? And now you have like more competition. And that's why like to this day, the avatar marketplace is very, very competitive when it comes to it, right? And it's not like how it was years back, but do your best, try to look for like the real ones who are willing to teach you and ask nothing for return, really, right? And just is able and like patient with you while doing so. So
Very well put.
And that's
Adding
a
a
very
little
good
bit
point
to
about
that.
the TOS. Because like,
Adding to that,
yeah.
it's true that lately there's a lot of gatekeeping, and I noticed that. I make my own avatars, and do things. But certain things are sometimes hard to learn because, like, no one shows what they are. There's, for example, I'm gonna show it real quick. There's this shift in form
the
that I
cheek
can
puff.
do.
Oh, look at
Different.
that.
This.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa.
This. Doing this, there's no tutorial on how to do this. It took me ages to figure this out on my own. Exactly with this effect. Because no one says how to do this. I had to learn this one on my own to figure this out. So it's true. I looked and kept looking and was like, it's just a dissolve, but not this is not a dissolve. The dissolve makes the entire thing disappear. It's not a dissolve. And eventually I had to figure this out on my own, and I found it by accident doing
wow.
something else. And I was like, so this is the thing I was looking for a year ago. Okay.
That's awesome.
And then I used it. So, yeah.
I
It's
say I
a
was
good
not
point
expecting
about
that
the
at all.
TOS as well.
Yeah.
Cool as hell, to be
Because,
fair.
like,
I like it when they can like proper do like changes like that. It looks awesome.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I've been trying to get one that does something similar, but I'm dumb and I can't do that, so I have to wait to spend some dough for it.
By the way, chat, this is a
What were you
reminder
saying, Mystique?
that you are able and allowed to ask questions to our panel, so go ahead and get your questions in the chat. But yes, what were you saying, Mystique?
It's a good point about the TOS as well, because the person who made Raven, who is the body of this avatar, did allow changes to be made, but I made sure that I spoke to them, Pinky's Paradise. I told them what I wanted to do. I shared pictures of it in Discord, and their community was amazing. But don't just like buy an avatar and start making changes without reading the TOS and checking with the creator first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no different from like a live 2D you might buy off like Etsy or something, like one of those cheap to use ones. Like any model you buy is going to have a TOS attached to it. It may not be the most restrictive TOS in the world, but it's still a TOS. So make sure that you are paying attention to that, honestly.
You know what's really funny is we've got the like fully customs on either side of us, and we're the two like you're
Franken VR.
Yeah, you're store bought, and I changed the skin textures and stuff, the skin and the hair.
Store-bought.
But the rest of it is store bought. And
Yeah, this is
I'm
store-bought.
half store bought. Is it?
Yeah, this is a Barbagen. It's just a store-bought one, but the only thing that's not store-bought is the clothes,
Texture.
which have had the texture, yeah, obviously, but the clothes have been custom fit to it, so that's the only thing. But yeah, the Papagen's quite a popular. Well, was the Mamagen is a popular avatar. The Papagen's not as popular, but I love him. I think he's. Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I was done. I'm thinking of getting a furry version just because like after that shoot we
The
had.
Mamagen, it's hot.
Okay.
It's hot.
It's hot.
I have a weakness for it. Oh. Anyway.
Papa Welsh did a video very recently with 17 other creators, so you should check it
You
out.
shoot, yeah.
And I met some incredible people on that shoot, and my timeline is full of furries now.
Yeah, that he did that to me too. My entire timeline is furries because of him too.
I
It's the art of furry pipeline. I'm telling you, conspiracy.
That's glad is coming to fruition. I apologize.
I was looking through Twitter yesterday, and I was like, God damn it! My entire timeline is furries right now, and I know it's just because of you.
What did I do, man?
I just follow the people you work with.
Yeah.
That's your issue. A lot of them are
There's
furries.
ears now too. There's ears there. There's ears everywhere. You have horns. They're all furries.
Oh, look, Kathiel put her ears on.
Yep.
Raccoons.
Your avatar comes with ears as well. I just deleted them.
It's a massive community, isn't it? Really, like everyone's a little bit furry. Let's be real. Everyone's a little bit furry.
True.
I
All
wanna-
VTubers
I
are
wanna
all
do a-
furry.
I want to do a parody of that "Everyone's a Little Bit Racist" song, but now, but
A little
everybody's
bit
a
furry.
little
It's just a
furry
little
now.
bit furry.
Still a little bit for.
I like
that's
that.
good though.
We do have a question in chat from Vugi, if I said it correctly. I apologize. It says, what does everyone think or know that is the biggest roadblock actually to getting into lewd VR content creation? So I'll start, actually. I'll tell you what mine was. It's motion sickness. I get really motion sick in VR. I've always been a sensitive lad ever since I played my Game Boy Color in the car as a kid, and that's never gone away. I'm told that it will go away in time. Mystique advised me to put tunnel vision on, which helped quite a bit, and I feel pretty good right now, but, you know, we'll see how I feel in like half an hour. What do you guys think?
There's a few other tricks.
Motion sickness.
I think
is a big
personally,
thing for me.
I think it's tech. It's like the equipment of getting everything. Like you need a decent PC to be able to run VR, and then you're gonna have to at least invest almost nearly more than $1,000 for base stations, headset. You know, then it goes to trackers, controllers, right? Dongles, and then if you're trying to go for a wireless route, you know, it's a lot of an investment to go into for sure.
Yeah.
Would you say there's like maybe a equipment creep that comes with VR? Like, you know, you buy one thing, they're like, oh no, this is not good enough. I want to get this one, sort of deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say for the most part, yeah.
A lot of some creators I know are fully Quest people. They make really good content, even though that they're Quest. So they don't have full body. They can't see full like textures, anything like
Let me
that.
correct that.
They still make. Oh, sorry, go on.
Let me correct that a bit. It's possible to do full body tracking with a Quest and so on. It's
Oh, is it?
possible now. Now it's possible.
Now it is,
I'll say
yeah.
this.
Okay.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
Even so,
Notice.
it is still a little bit limiting, isn't it? Like you can't see PC avatars or go to PC worlds, can you? Or is that unless you do like
Depends.
Airlink and all that?
So, if you're doing Airlink or virtual desktop
Cable.
or Steam VR. So, for example, I had an Index. I was doing VR with Index, and then the cable broke, right? And at the time, for me, buying the cable was almost the same thing as buying a Quest 3. So I bought a Quest 3. It's wireless. Because it's wireless, so it's so good to not have a cable.
Yeah.
So I just used a calibration thing that keeps... You need to put a regular tracker on your, essentially, head.
Yeah, so instant calibration. Yeah. mhm.
Exactly, with the instant calibration. So it's calibrating both the Quest's virtual space and with the normal PC VR space, to call it something. And I have full body tracking with the Quest, no cable, all the freedom, and it's great.
Right,
So you're on a
Fair
Quest
enough.
3 right now, Theo.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm on a
cool,
Quest
cool.
2.
Okay, oh, it's a Quest 2, yeah.
Quest 2 can do full body tracking too.
And chat, Quest
There's
2,
ways, man.
it was $300 when I bought it. Like, it's probably like $250 now or something. Like, it's not the most expensive thing in the world. And,
Yeah.
you know, I have the avatar,
Yeah.
I can pull my thing out and jork it. So, like, you too can jork it, chat. I'm telling you.
You too can joke it.
Yes, you
Yeah,
can.
I started buying I bought a pre-used
Index.
not Index. What's the other one?
Valve, Oculus.
Not
The HTC? The HTC Vive?
Vive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
HTC Vive,
the
yeah.
HTC
Mhm.
Vive.
we
My
go.
brain was thinking Valve. Could not, and I was like Vive. So I had the original HTC Vive that I bought from someone else, used for $300, and then after I had been doing content for a while, I ended up being able to update my stuff and get the Index, which I like, but I would like to be able to be wireless. But for me, I think the hardest thing for me was not necessarily like purchasing the tech, but the tech of getting it started and like actually setting up a stream and figuring out like being able to how to do this. This was that I cried for like hours when I first figured out how to do that, because I was like, I need to know how to do this and I can't figure it out. And then getting into the actual stream, and of course I started on Fansly, so it's a little bit different, but like starting with Fansly and like figuring out how to be live on Fansly and then having your chat up at the same time and your toys connected to it at the same time, and then making sure that all of your stuff is looking right on top of all of that. That was, to me, like, there were so many streams when I first started streaming, especially on Fansly, that I would stop halfway through. And I'd be like, "Okay, guys, I'm done." And I would just end stream halfway through, like in the middle of it, and just start crying because it was like I felt so overwhelmed by the tech of it.
I understand that.
And like doing all of the actual like I can turn on a camera and be great in front of a camera as an IRL person, but then add in all of this extra technology, and it felt so stupid when I first started. It was really difficult for me.
Or you could be incredibly lucky and have someone show you how to do it all when it comes to streaming, because they've gone through all that and you don't have to.
You're welcome.
Andy showed me everything to do with streaming. They were like, "Right, sit your ass down. You're about to have a lesson, boy." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Got my pen and paper out. Let's go."
Yeah,
But
she did that for me too. That's why I had my debut as a collab with Andy, so she could show me how to do things, so I didn't cry. I almost cried a couple of times, but
yeah, there were so many times. I told Mystique, I'm like, "You're gonna feel so stressed out. Like, it's okay. Don't apologize. Like, I understand and I'm here and we will figure it out." I said that so many times to her because I knew that it was gonna be hard, and yeah.
I've just bought a new PC as well, so everything that I had set up has now gone.
It's gone.
So I have now. That's the reason I've stopped streaming altogether at the moment. I was going to start again today, but I just this week's not been the best.
Message me, I'll help you with that.
Yeah, thank you, darling. But that's the thing, is that, like, the VTuber things that you sent me. Those God knows all how to remember how to set that up, or
I'll
even
help you.
if I still have it. Like,
Andy is a fucking angel. So is Yuuki. So are you two as well.
Like, Welsh is very giving people here. Absolutely.
I'm good at making videos. I'm not the best at anything else.
But you're so patient. Like, we've made a couple of videos together before, and like my trackers were drifting all over the place because like I am not very wealthy and can't afford like the HTC Vive trackers and base stations and all that stuff. So I've just got some like bootleg slimes, right?
That's good. It works.
Yeah, that's fine. They work, but like you have to learn how to use full body tracking. And they drift every 5 minutes and you don't know what you're doing. And he was so patient, even though it took like an hour and a half to film like 7 minutes of footage.
Yeah, this shit can be time consuming when you're filming it because you don't realize it when you like look at it.
I've realized though, for some reason, I can get all my videos for some reason are all about for the raw footage. I don't know what it is about it, but there's something about 54 minutes that I'll be able to record everything I need. Every video, and it's not on purpose or anything like that, but every time I go and actually like get my footage to edit down, it's always near 54 minutes. It's just really weird. It's a really weird coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
to
Kathiel
the
as
point
well
about like
helped me.
LewdTubing and streaming, just to like LewdTube, like is like a checklist. Are your toys on? Are they connected? Are your goals set? Like, are you recording your VOD? Like, there's so much to do compared to even Twitch when you like stream on Fansly. Then you add like just tech on top of it. You're like your headset, your trackers,
even midstream.
Yeah, even midstream.
Your play space. Make sure your play space is clear so you don't trip over your dogs or
Yep.
Yeah.
dildos lying around or whatever you've got.
Or
all over your yoga ball.
Yeah.
The app updates midstream. I had the 11th app update midstream, and suddenly nothing was working and not syncing. And I was like, why did everything stop? What the hell happened?
Mine has been doing that.
I started checking.
It's so annoying.
Stuff that keeps going on.
And I was like, I had to close the app because it updated halfway through, so it was giving me false reports that everything was connected, but it wasn't. Resync everything again midstream.
Oh
I was so stressed out.
Odd.
I was so stressed out.
I would have just gone.
But it worked out.
Howdy. Not doing one of that.
I just did that, and it was like, okay, it's working. We're back. It's okay.
Midstream
It's like,
tech
put
support is so
everything down. We're good.
Here's a
worked
question
out.
from Faye the Succubus. Another quick question: does the panel have any recommendations on spaces or communities that are safe and welcoming for folks to socialize and interact in VR, where NSFW topics are acceptable, ideally without it being a hookup spot?
The Celtic Cove. Anyway, sorry for the self plug.
You're allowed to do
Yes.
that, sir. So you've got
Yeah,
space.
Yeah, but pretty much every creator does. But the Discord server that I have is mainly just so like a load of creators, a load of people that just fans just can come and just mingle and have. And the amount of times that we just be streaming on there, just playing anything, and then like just organize shoots while doing stuff with people. Do you know what I mean? It's just not just with me as well. Like you can make tickets on there to make shoots with me, but just the amount of people that are on there, it really is a good place for it. And I'm sure you guys have got similar things, but like it's pretty decent, I thought anyway. But in communities in general, the furry community is kind. There's subcommittees in the furry community, but there are. It's risky.
We've seen the Google Docs.
Yeah, exactly. There are some communities that are great. There are some that there are also always going to be black marks on those communities.
Yeah, I mean, you get more than 5 people in a room, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. So
As
I
we
guess the
say as a
only-
6-person panel.
Mhm. I think the community I know that is safe and is not a hookup thing is the Creators Tavern that I know.
yes,
Those are
that's
people
very
who
good.
are. That is a good one. Anxiety issues, so I'm not very active there. I don't talk often, because of that. But
Yeah,
they're good
what's-
people.
is it
I know
Chris?
people there.
Chris?
They're very nice.
what's their name? The person who runs it. I can't remember I can't remember their username. But I was their photographer for a bit, and they're very very welcoming and very good. I
was invited
really
there
recommend
by
that one.
Here's a good one. I was invited there by Riley Zenko, also a YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
And I actually have friends there and made some friends there. Like Foxley and stuff. Who was actually in chat earlier because I have chat open here. So yeah, that's basically the place that I can recommend. The tavern, the Creators Tavern, for basically
Great
creators.
advice.
I just got a notification saying Faye the Succubus joined your server. So there you go.
Honestly, though, like, the Celtic Cove has amazing people in it. Like,
Yeah.
I joined, like, that shoot on Saturday, and I made, like, 5 or 6 friends within
Very nice.
minutes.
As soon as you did enter the room, I was like, everybody. Mystique. You know that meme of what's his Will Smith with his wife just going, look at it, look at it.
Oh, it's true.
The thing is, you can do
You're
with VR
so
tracking.
sweet.
Ta-da! I love having hand tracking.
It is good. Isn't it?
Yeah,
It
my
was so
face might be
expressive.
sweaty as all hell right now, but having hand tracking is pretty cool.
Welcome to VR.
I hope you enjoy having goggle marks on your face, because
Oh,
when you get out of
don't
VR, that is what
stand
is
the
going to happen.
pain. Oh, especially when you have to.
I have an extensive skincare routine afterwards.
Yeah,
I just cannot. Nope. Cannot.
I had a shoot with a girl from Australia called Dandelion, right? And or Dana's, whatever. But it was quite early in the morning for me to do the shoot, so I did that. But then I was like, oh, I need to go get my haircut. I'll go out and get my haircut after. So as soon as we finished the shoot, it was about an hour and a half shoot. Went outside. I was in my car driving, and I was like, oh, face feels a bit weird. Put down the visor, just the biggest, fattest red ring around my face, and I'm sat there in the hairdresser, just fucking having him cut me out. He's like, "Oh, that's what you want," and I'm just sat with the biggest red ring around my face, going, "Yes, haircut, please."
Yeah, I have a similar situation for sure. You know, like I remember, like I was shooting some content one time on VR, and then right afterwards, I was like, last second, I was like, oh, I was supposed to hang out with my old IRL like high school buddies and stuff like that. So I quickly, zoomed off from like, the VR, still had the whole red marks and stuff like that. Went to the restaurant where we all like were gonna go in and meet and like have some food and stuff like that. One of my old mates were just like, dude, did someone just sit on your face for like extensive amount of hours? I'm like, maybe. Bro, no need for him to call me out like that, please.
That is funny.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't like properly look after it as well, you can get like proper like you can fucking. I've once had it when I went into work and my face was starting to like my forehead was starting to skin because I hadn't like properly like moisturized it. Like
yeah, no, my friend actually has received eczema because of it. Because also when you're sweating, a lot of people don't clean out their gaskets. The foam covering around your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of bacterial germs.
This is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have a rubber guard like over the foam around my face, so I can just clean that.
Yeah, I think the Oculus has
That
a
makes
rubber
sense.
guard too. Touching it right now.
Yeah.
I didn't like the feel of I think my old headset had like a rubber one on, and I didn't like the feel of it on my face. So I just have like the actual like material, like a little bit of like cotton or something on it.
Yeah, I bought like a separate like soft leather. That's really good. I can easily just use antibacterial and then just spray it down and wipe it, and then we're good to go basically. Mm-hmm.
It's what I do. I bought another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
So it's like to just
I need to
easily
look into
wipe
that
it off.
sometime.
Wipeable
Done.
material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just
suppose
wash my face before and after
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
moisturize really
It
well.
also helps it.
True.
Yeah.
So key
but,
points
like,
are
there
check,
so
clean your
many-
goggles, and moisturize.
There are so many like
Especially after the
considerations
sexy
with any kind of
times.
content creation. Like it just depends on what kind of considerations you're most okay with having.
Here's a general question from Kuma Omega. Not sure this is a valid question. It is. Do you have any sort of tips overcoming anxieties when it comes to creating content? So Kuma, what I would say, like I'm not a VR creator, I'm a regular LewdTuber sort of creator, but I've had to work my way up to making the content that I make. There was no way I was gonna jump on Fansly from day one and like start moaning on the microphone, coming, like showing parts of my body and stuff like that. It's exposure therapy. You gotta see what you're comfortable doing, because if you go too hard all at once, you're gonna experience like it's not streamer drop, like I used to get severe like drop after like doing lewd stuff. I was like, oh god, like oh no, that's like so weird that I did that, and you start to feel a little self-conscious. So you've got to work your way up to it. Like don't go too hard too quickly. I assume you're talking about lewd content here. If you're not, also just in content in general, just start off slow and see what works, and don't get discouraged, because it takes lots of tenacity and continue going at it over and over and over to build a community. But yeah, what do you guys think?
Atra, are you not holding your buttons? Like
Do
you
I?
don't have your fingers on your buttons?
Do I need to?
Because like you've had your eyes
just-
closed for a long time.
Oh, which ones are closed?
Yeah, they're open now.
Okay,
You've got gestures on.
Yeah.
cool. So I'm Brock
Because
from
like
Pokemon.
if I take mine off, yeah, you're Brock.
Regarding to that question, I've always been quite an outgoing person, always quite like confident. So I've never, but I've had to help people like that who have issues with anxiety and all that. And what they said is really helpful is if they basically have someone who is, if you have either someone that you're really comfortable around who is kind of a little bit more outgoing, that can help you through it and help you with it, and also with like having a content partner, say someone who you are comfortable doing content with, and just do content with them for a bit. Do you know what I mean? Just so you can get your feet and get your confidence in, especially with public, and it can be a bit daunting, I guess, but sometimes one of the best ways is to try and interact and like work your way up
Face
and
it.
interact with stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
'Cause
you gotta face your fears, basically, in a sense.
Because like,
Mhm.
sometimes when like I'll throw like
Yeah.
a little get together with like a load of VR people, and a load of people turn up there going, "Oh, sorry, I was a bit nervous to come and talk to you." I was like, "No, don't be. Come up and talk to me. I'm not gonna ever be offended. I won't ever. Just, you know what I mean, just anyone as well. Just try and mingle, because you kind of like Yuuki says,
Indeed.
just dive in at first."
That's
Mhm.
also a great point about getting
Yep,
a
yep.
trusted partner to do content with. Because
Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people make the mistake getting in here trying to collab with everybody and like having their boundaries sort of like violated that way. If you have someone you trust to like make content with, keep pulling that thread.
Yeah.
Support each other. Like, I make a lot of content with Mystique because like I trust Mystique to respect my boundaries. I'm sure vice versa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See, and I'm kind of on
Makes
the other end of that spectrum, because I don't really do collabs. I have with a couple of people in this room, but it is not my main source of content, and it is not where I feel comfortable. Even though I feel comfortable with my friends in this room, it's not something that is, even with the people that I'm extremely comfortable with, it's not something I'm very comfortable doing. And so I really started myself and doing things myself, and that was a way that like helped me figure out how VR worked. And Welsh was like one of the first people that I really did like a real lewd video with. And there was at one point where I got really frustrated, and I started to get upset, and I was like, this is just so much more hard, because I now, on top of looking silly to myself, have to worry about looking silly to someone else. And so for me, it was a lot of what helped me overcome my anxieties was figuring out things on my own in a world where I don't have any other distractions or anything, and I just would put the camera up and I would put myself in different positions, and I would move, and I would look at what the camera looked like and see what that kind of was looking at. And then I could kind of figure out how to move my own body in terms of that. But I did that off stream, like I wasn't recording or doing anything. It was just me in VR with music on, trying to recreate the porn scenes essentially that I thought looked good. And then I kind of figured out how to work my body in VR. And then I started feeling more comfortable with allowing other people in the space with me. But even still to this day, like I get really worked up and anxious about if someone's gonna think I'm doing something wrong and I look stupid or anything like that. To me, just being in a space around other people, I'm worried so much about the way I look. Where like if I was just on my own, I was able to really figure out how to do things technically. And then that helped with, because I mean, that was my biggest roadblock, was the technicalities of it. So once I got over that part of my anxieties, I'm able to kind of work through more of my social anxieties a lot more without having to worry about, oh my God, do I know how to get my tracker to start working if it stops working? Or how am I going to get in this position so that I'm riding this avatar that is 6 feet tall and I'm this big? And now granted, things have changed, and now you can change your avatar size in VR. Where before you couldn't do that. So it was just like there were so many different things. So then figuring out the technicalities of it first, and then allowing myself to be willing to collab and stuff really did help with my anxieties, and it's helped me be less shy around people in a VR space. I felt like an old woman who did not know a single goddamn thing about computers when I got into VR the first couple times.
Yeah, I think
It's
you're
quite
touching on something
intimidating.
interesting there, because like when you do a collab on Twitch or as a face cam streamer, it's two people in a Discord call. you do a collab in VR, suddenly there's like someone a physical presence there. Like it's different. It's a lot different.
Yeah.
Actually, suddenly body language comes into it. Like
so much more real in that aspect to me, and that was where it was like, oh god, these people are like real people. It's not just a Discord picture.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's not just an animated picture that has its mouth open when someone's talking. It's so much more real, and I needed to figure out how to be in VR and be okay before I could allow another person to be in the room.
And like the screens,
That makes
the
sense, yeah.
lenses of a VR headset are like 2 inches away from your actual eyeballs. So like if you've got this presence that is 3-dimensional, it is a 3-dimensional presence in your space. And like if they get in your face, they are literally in your face. They are like
Yep.
up against your eyeballs, and it can be extremely invasive and intimidating. So, you know, you've got to be prepared for that. First of all, because like controls aren't exact, and the number of times that Andy and I have flown face first towards each other and like wound up inside each other's meshes is but also, and like with Atra, I'm sure he got very motion sick when we were doing like our thing, and some, you know, I went "Bleh!" just like into his entire face.
Didn't help I was drunk at the time, but yes.
Yes.
Being drunk in VR is a whole other
So
story.
you've got to be able to deal with other physical presences, and I would recommend, at least at first, getting into VR with someone you trust, or with like a network of someone from a network of people, like the Celtic Cove, for example, where, you know, people aren't going to be disgusting or invasive.
That was something I wanted to get onto. Was you need to be able to have someone, if you're going to collab with someone and you want to make sure that they're being very professional about it and aren't just in it to talk, because that's what a lot of people are on Twitter for, and that's all they give a shit about. No,
Just
And
VR
they're
chat
here
in
to-
general, yeah.
exactly, yeah. So people sometimes make content so that they can ERP or whatever, which is not what this is about. We're about making content and having a good time, as in like fun.
Making
And
a
yeah,
good
if shit
performance.
happens like that, fine, whatever. If you hit it off, but don't do content thinking that you're gonna do that. That is not the way to do it. So whenever you're gonna do content with someone, I would highly recommend that you ask other people how they are, so that you can, if there's no references to them, always vet them, make sure that they're okay, instead of you can just go straight into it, but it is a stranger on the internet at the end
It's a
of the
big
day.
risk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
trust is
so you
a
need to- you need to-
commodity that's earned, honestly, and reputation. It's
Exactly.
Sorry,
It sounded
Kathiel?
smart in
Or
my head,
not
but-
sorry, but yes. No, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right, though.
Yeah.
I do
I
want to
mean,
touch
I
on that
can add to it.
actually.
Sorry.
Papa Welsh in a sec
Okay, go.
about the ERP and sort of like vetting folks. But I did want to take some questions from chat also, and we had a question earlier from Elstar VR. So Elstar,
Hey.
this is
Well,
hey Al. What is everyone's favorite part of making the content? For example, meeting people, or running the camera, or the edits. So what's your favorite part of making your content?
looking hot.
It's a good one.
I would say spending
I'm not
time with
hot in
a
real
certain
life.
individual.
Oh, sorry.
For me, more so, yeah. Or being able to, like, let's say you're not doing collabs, you're able to put yourself in a position where you're meeting other like-minded individuals who also do the exact same work that you are doing.
Yeah, like I've made no secret, like my own body image issues, and the fact that I can be this drop-dead gorgeous woman and
Well,
express my sort
Like
of
you're not already, but
That's what I was about to say.
shut up. You are both horrible liars.
Anyway, so
You know, the fact that I can be someone who's attractive to myself and really express the sort of sexual being that I am with confidence is tremendously enjoyable and important to me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, everyone else can talk now.
No, it's all right.
I suppose I can. So about the question and maybe about collabs and stuff, because it's kind of related at the same time. At least for me, like, I do the content because I like doing it. It's something, I mean, we're all sexual creatures. Anyone that says otherwise is lying. We are. So I like the stuff I like, and I like to make content about it so that maybe other people enjoy it, right? I'm very oriented towards other people having fun and enjoying things. So I make content so that they can enjoy it. But it needs to be something that I do like also. Because if you're not enjoying what you're doing, people will notice, so they won't like what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
That's automatic. It's an automatic thing. So
Yep.
What I do is because I enjoy it. And going to the collabs thing, it's actually very hard for me to do collabs with people. If it's, for example, a live stream, for example. I haven't done a live stream with someone else like this, precisely because, like Andy was saying, it's complicated. There's another person there, and it can throw everything off
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
if something goes wrong. There's a lot of people that I trust that I probably would say, yeah, I'd probably do something with you. But, but then either anxieties or something can get in the way. Photo collabs are easier, or video collabs are easier. And I don't do it from the ERP aspect either, like it was being said. If it happens because the people get along, that, like, apart from the content, it's something else, right? But if I'm doing the content, I'm analyzing it all, like, in a professional setting, because I did do a bit of modeling before in the past. So I kind of apply that mindset of, okay, this is the photos we need to do. We're going to do it. Okay, let's do this pose, that pose, and so on, or that scene for a video. So I look at it in a, I guess, professional way, to call it something. And try to make it as best as possible. And no ERP involved. That's later, if people hit it off. But, separate things. Completely separate from the work.
Doing like a live ERP like collab with somebody, like if it takes 54 minutes to shoot like a 5-minute video or a 10-minute video, like imagine what it'd be like doing like an actual VR thing with like people. Like I can only imagine.
Complicated.
Yeah,
It's hard.
yeah.
I mean, people.
Mario Portrait took me like at least 6 to 8 hours. I'll tell you that much with a partner.
Easy.
Like people do ERP in VR chat.
Oh,
all the
absolutely,
time,
absolutely.
but they're not filming themselves. They're trying to look good for the
I never
camera.
did that. I'm too innocent.
Yeah, sure, Kathiel. You've never
I'll believe
ERP'd.
that.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
use
never,
VR.
never.
We don't
Very
use Chat either.
wholesome.
We use Chill Out VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Sorry,
Chill
chill
Out
out
VR.
VR. Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mystique was never there when anything happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
It's all about the emotions, right? That's what we're role playing as. Just all the emotions.
So I did want to
yeah.
touch on something that Papa Welsh said, because this is actually something I quite like about Papa Welsh, is that he's very professional about the way he approaches his projects, in that, when this is a space, even when you're not a VR streamer, you can have people who are looking to just ERP or like get stuff from you and sexually exploit you. So I guess my question to the panel is, if you are considering a collab or doing a collab currently with someone you don't know, how do you vet this person? And how do you enforce your boundaries if you're not looking to do something sexual with them, even though you are doing sexual content? Or
I
does
make it
even
say
matter?
I say it really clear.
Yeah.
I say it very fucking clear in the very beginning. I'm like, yeah, we can talk, we can be friends and stuff like that, but just know that maybe nothing will actually ever happen. I'm gonna be straight up and forward with you when it comes to that, because I don't like wasting people's time. I don't like people wasting my own time. So I'm just gonna say it outright. And if it like comes up again, and then I have to repeat myself, then we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
I've actually had this happen a few times where I put myself in a position where I thought I was going to do a collab, and I did think that I was comfortable, I've stated before, like, and I always make sure, like, when I do put myself in a position of collabing and stuff, I mean, the 3 that I've collabed here with, and I mean, Atra, you too, you've been there. I always say, you know, like, I am demisexual. I am not someone who engages in sexual activities with someone unless I am, like, more connected with them emotionally. So this really is going to just be us taking shots, going through the motion of it, but it's not going to be anything for me. And in those times where I've set something up, and I have had times where I thought it was going to be okay and I did feel comfortable, and then they continued to say, okay, well, how about we do this with our collab too? And there were multiple people involved, and everyone else in the collab was okay with those things. And I had, from the beginning, been very strong with saying, this is my boundary. I don't feel comfortable interacting sexually and doing ERP type acts with people that I don't know. You guys, as much as I would like to get to know you guys, we only have a week, and that's not enough time for me to feel comfortable. And then they continued to push it. And they said, you know, are you sure? Like, why can't you? Oh, we're all comfortable with it. Why aren't you?
Nope.
And that was when I got to the point where I said, okay, that's it. You guys have now pushed me past my boundaries. You're not listening to me when I am telling you that I'm not comfortable with things, and I need to step away from the collab. And then at that point, they did try to continue to get me to stay involved. And I knew that that's because they wanted me to be involved, and I did want to be involved too. But they weren't listening to my boundaries and what I was comfortable with. And so while it's really hard, especially when they're sitting there trying to get you to do something, and while you might want to really do it, saying no is okay, and you're allowed to say no, and you're allowed to say, you guys have pushed me too far past my boundaries, and I am not going to be involved in this anymore. And don't be afraid of the outcome of it too, because that was one thing. I reached out to Mystique when this was happening, and I was like, I'm really concerned about the fallout of telling these people that I am uncomfortable. And that shouldn't be a thing. So if someone is trying to push you to do something that you're not wanting to do, like, that immediately is a red flag. And don't feel bad about saying no. And then knowing and then knowing in the future, like, okay, this person, as nice as they may be, they obviously don't understand what my boundaries are. I'm not going to work with them anymore. And you can still be friends and continue to do safe for work stuff, but like just making sure that you say and really like put in that boundary right away. And if they try to change your boundaries or try to make you do something that you wouldn't necessarily be okay with originally, it's okay to say no.
Yeah, boundaries are not negotiable. Doesn't matter what context.
Yeah,
exactly.
And a good performer will check in with their collaboration partners.
Check-in's a good one.
Is this comfortable?
Yep.
Like, are you still okay? Shall we keep going? I'd really like something along this theme, or like, I would like to do a doggy style position and be very dominant. Is that okay with you? Because, like, for example, Papa Welsh and I are both dominants, and we've done scenes where I was quite submissive, but before we did that, we had a talk saying, what are you comfortable with? What are your limits? Do you have phantom sense? Which is another thing that we should probably define for people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, where are you okay with being touched? So these are things that you would need to see from a collab partner in order for them to be those are the signs of a safe and responsible collab partner, in my opinion.
I'm seeing a comment in chat from Padunk that says, unfortunately, you have to deal with folks assuming that being in VR was consent already. Exactly. So like that's something that I've
Yeah.
sort of seen as an observer, in that people thinking because everyone in the group chat is a lewd tuber or everyone in the chat is a sex worker, that everyone has consent already and the consent doesn't need to be reinforced. And I think that is the biggest pitfall that a lot of new creators fall into. Even if they're not meaning to do that, they just kind of assume, okay, well everyone's here is lewd, so I can show IRL or I can like be dominant or stuff like that.
I mean, there
Yeah.
have been group chats that I've known of where like it was a group of lewd tubers, and one of them like just started masturbating without saying anything to anyone else. They just started doing that, and like, yeah,
that
they've
Discord
been kicked out of a
copy-pasta-
few
Wow.
spaces.
I think that Discord got past that. Do not announce the server when you're going to go masturbate. I don't know why you think this was okay in this context.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think honestly it's more so fantasy versus reality.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I can go suck a bunch of fucking cocks with like random ass people. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna let like you do it to me. You know what I mean? I don't even know who the hell you are, right? There's a whole thing where it's like the fantasy POV be like, oh my god, that's so hot. Yeah, that person obviously is like, oh yeah, they're gonna be okay with doing this, right? But in the actual reality, like everything is literally planned. Everything is like checked before even doing anything to even happen beforehand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You just have to know where that border is and where that line is separates, basically, in a sense.
I
Exactly.
have had so many horror stories told to me about like evil. There's no other word to it. Evil people on VR that have like done like say there was one person that like told me about a person that used to do pictures for them and then used to say, right, cool, I won't send you the pictures until we fuck.
Nope.
And shit like that. Like
What?
like
What?
like then like manipulate people in the stream going like on like they agreed prior that they weren't going to be doing anything and then midstream go and then like sort of like manipulate them midstream and then like
Oh yeah,
bruh,
using the public to force consent.
it's
That's something that
fucking- there
happens
are
IRL as well.
horror stories. And the worst
That's
part is though
crazy.
is that some people aren't feel like especially if it's like a smaller creator collaborating with a bigger creator, they'll be like, oh fuck, if I piss off this person that's ruining my chat. Stand up for yourself. Do not let someone that's bigger than you dictate what you're going to be doing. Do you know what I mean? If you're not comfortable doing something like that, exactly what Andy said, say no. There's don't if surely if it's especially if it's in like a public setting, everyone will understand, and if they don't understand it, then that is someone you do not want to be around. Just as simple as that.
And that
Exactly.
person
Another
will not be a
really-
creator for much longer. I'll tell you that because those people always
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But like,
Yeah.
there's another really good way to avoid that situation is say before you make the content, say just, when you're doing the thing, just go right. Just so you know, I don't want to do our ERP. I don't want to do anything like that. I just want to get the shots. And is it okay if my friend comes along with me and just have someone come with you on the shoot? Someone that you trust. They don't have to be involved in the shoot. They can just be in the corner doing their own thing. Just having the comfort of having someone there with you can help so much.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'll never be offended when someone goes, do you mind if someone of my mates come? I'll be like, nope. 100% come make sure they're there with you. I want you as comfortable as you can. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. Midway through the shoot, I'll stop and go, right, cool, are you guys all right? Can we make sure that everyone's comfortable? Are we okay?
Exactly.
Yep.
And
That's good. Yeah.
if we need to take a break, take your headset off, do whatever, it doesn't matter. We're not on any, there's no, I won't hate you, I won't, you know what I mean? There's
Won't
no,
try and cancel you.
yeah,
Be straight up. Yeah, be real.
I'm who at the end of the day, I always say this, and I know it pisses off a lot of people when I do it, but I just say at the end of the day, it's VR. If something's that uncomfortable, just done.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
If you can't take no for an answer, just
Yeah.
log off.
Log out. That is a good thing about it.
Button. Oh my god, it's yeah. There was one of my friends actually told me once they were in a public and someone was harassing them and all this, and they were like, I couldn't get away from them. They were really upsetting me, and I went, why don't you just block them? And he went, oh, I didn't want to be rude. I'm like, who the
Just
fuck
be
cares?
rude.
I cannot play with him. I just get like, oh, I'm losing connection with you. Oh, Blocked.
Oh, I'm going through a tunnel.
Oh, I'm going through a tunnel.
I'm going through a tunnel in VR. Just,
That's what I do too. 1000%.
Going
Yeah.
through a tunnel.
That's funny as fuck. Yeah, no. My highest recommendation for that then would definitely be having someone there with you. It is, and if the creator is an actual like professional creator, they won't give a shit either. Because as long as you're not forcing that creator to do stuff with that other person as well, like when you've organised a shoot with just the two of you, and then you're going, oh, can we involve this person as well? That's a separate shoot that needs organising. Do you know what I mean? That's not.
Absolutely.
That don't just jump someone on. But as long as you do it like that and you just have someone with you that's comfortable.
Yep.
Perfect. Best way to do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think when you get into any kind of sex work, be it virtual, be it IRL, you have to be able to advocate for yourself and or have a network of people who will help you do that.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
everybody gets into situations where, like, they can't see the wood for the trees. They're in the situation, they can't see a way out that is gonna be sort of low risk for them. They're concerned about risk of being cancelled, risk of being like thrown out of friend groups, or risk, or being ostracized. And it's important to cultivate a network of friends who will help you escape from that situation and reassure you if you are unable to do that for yourself at the moment.
Agreed.
And
Yes.
something that really worries me with very young people who get into sex work is that they often don't have the tools to do that yet. And before you consider getting into sex work and go, oh, it's not real, it's just virtual, like, it's fine, even if something happens. It's not fine. It will still fuck you up.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
make sure that you have your tools in place and your networks in place to keep yourself safe. All of us do.
Yeah.
And on the one end of it is, I know sometimes, especially in the VTuber space, this can get a little dicey, but it is safety. Is talking to people about someone you might want to collab with. Like, don't talk bad about people or spread rumors or anything like that. But there is nothing wrong with reaching out to a friend and saying, hey, do you know this person? I am interested in setting up a collab with them, and I am not familiar with them, and I would like to know if you've seen them do work with someone else. There is nothing wrong with checking references from someone else to know whether or not that person is safe to be around. If you see that they've worked with one of your friends, reach out and say, hey, I've seen you worked with this person. I just want to know, did you feel safe and comfortable around them? Are they a person that you would allow me to work with as well? Not allow, but like, would you feel comfortable?
You put me in that position?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you allow me, like, you would feel safe in me being in that position? And if they come back and say, yeah, of course, like, I didn't have anything wrong, they were great, they were super professional, then yeah. But then if you don't hear that, then you know that that's probably not a person that you should work with, or if it's someone that you reached out to and they said, they wanted to do this kind of shoot, but I wasn't really comfortable with it, and so we decided not to do that kind of shoot. That doesn't mean you don't have to work, you shouldn't work with them. That just means that your comfortabilities weren't compatible, but that still doesn't mean they aren't like a predator of sorts. So like, asking someone is if a person is safe or comfortable, there's nothing wrong with that either. Like, I feel like a lot of the times we get in, there's so much of the like Google Docs and the canceling that we feel like we can't talk to other creators about creators. But as long as you're not doing it in a harmful way, if you're just asking for references, the way you would ask an artist, hey, you've worked with other people, can I talk to those other people you've worked with before sending them thousands of dollars? Yeah. It's the same thing. Or a job interview.
What was your experience calming this person? It's the same work. It's all work.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It is a job interview, and you should treat it in a lewd space. Yes, there's intimacy, and yes, there's friendships that are able to be formed, but it is a professional space, and it should be treated as such. And putting people on a job interview and asking for references, and even asking that person, hey, you want to collab with me? Are there a couple people that I can talk to that you've worked with? And if they say, oh, I don't feel comfortable with you doing that, then that might be a red flag for you. Like there's nothing wrong with giving someone an interview before you collaborate with them to make sure that they're safe. Or if you don't want to do that in that sense, getting to know them via Discord call or in VR chat without cameras present first, and like actually getting to know them as a person before you put any sort of lewd or content involved into it. That is a good way to make sure that you at least are comfortable and safe with the person before opening up to like doing the lewd stuff. I think that's a big deal to kind of help with like checking to make sure people are safe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's really effective.
Andy, my love, would you mind scooting a little bit closer to Yuuki for me? You've drifted a little bit.
Yes.
And this is just, chat, this is just a general thing. Like, it also applies to kink in general. Hell, it even applies to safe for work VTuber collabs. Like, all of this stuff is always transferable, you know? If you ever want to enter a kink space, if you ever want to enter a relationship, if you ever want to do content with somebody, these are things that you should really know how to do, honestly. Yeah, it's good advice, no matter who.
Yeah.
And what Padunk said about about people thinking that just because we make lewd content, that automatically opens us up to be instantly lewd with us, like with no prior thing. The amount of like weird texts and messages that I'm sure we've all had is ridiculous. Like, and just and especially for like someone who's like, especially with Padunk, because Padunk's a very good artist. She makes amazing art, and even if someone who's not like forefront, as in like, no, we're us, do you know what I mean? Someone who's just an artist and just makes lewd art gets that. Just shows that you need to respect people, even if they do make stuff that's lewd. But still human. Christ, you know what I mean? It's no need to instantly send me full shaft or just a picture of your tits. I'm like, calm. I don't even know your name. Please.
Yeah. And it's like I was saying in the episode last week. Like, when the cameras are off, we're not fucking. We like when the cameras are off after like Andy and I do like a shoot together or whatever, we talk about recipes and like after the shoot where like I spent several minutes, like my entire like role was licking his dick, right? Like, we all got together afterwards, like a whole group of us got together and we were watching Has Been Hotel like music videos. Like, we are friends and people who socialize and respect each other just as people before we become lewd and after we become lewd. Like, we just treat each other like people.
The other day I did a collab with someone. We did the collab. We this is someone I'm like quite close to as well. So we did a collab. We had a bit of fun after, and then we just went and watched Ice Age. Do you know what I mean? It was just. Do you know what I mean?
So you got the nut and watched them getting the nut.
Yeah, it was great. I watched Scratch getting the nut. It was fantastic. I'd seen Ice Age in such a long time. Oh my god, it was such a good fucking movie.
It's
Really was.
fun. Yeah.
So it's not just like an orgy pile behind the camera 24.
No, definitely not.
Usually not, but it can be sometimes.
Except when I'm in Yuki's DMs.
Right. So just some general housekeeping here. The Depths is generally about 2 hours long. So chat, this is sort of your last call for questions. If you want us to ask this wonderful panel any questions, we're at an hour 40 right now, approximately. There is a question chat about content creation. We will do a general wrap up about getting started in VR again at the end of stream. We don't be too repetitive because we talked about it earlier, but we'll do a quick wrap up before we end, just about like some general advice to get started as a creator. A question that I had.
Oh my.
Oh,
I didn't see none.
Just a little body horror as a treat.
A question I did have, for those of you that do customs, for your communities and your chats, what's sort of the oddest request you've had to do in VR? And if you don't do customs, what's the weirdest thing you've done on stream?
Mystique just tickled me in VR for a video.
we did a Dom sub tickle collab together. That was so much fun.
That
oh,
was.
damn.
Yeah, but I had to pretend to laugh for like a good 30 minutes.
Oh god.
Right.
Yeah,
That
because
would've
like
been
the
hard.
video turned out 10
That would have been
minutes long.
hard. Holy shit.
It was hard. It was
Like
hard.
laugh until you come. I was in Shangri-La and I had a tickler, like a little
Feather
mini
duster?
feather duster. And I was like, tickle, 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 tickle.
Honestly, it was so fun to be able to do and explore such a different fetish than that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely one of my most off the wall. I did have someone request once for me to do a Naruto fantasy
Oh my
audio
gosh.
for them,
Okay. That's
where I
cool.
had to pretend to be Sakura, and they were a member of the Akatsuki. So that was a really
Oh.
fun, very different custom that I've done. I really enjoy doing the more off the wall customs. I'll do pretty much anything.
Yeah,
So were you
it's
the
so fun.
Hokage in that situation?
No, I was Sakura. I was like in the middle of a forest.
Damsel in
and-
distress, basically.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Jesus Christ. With me, I think I've had a few weird ones. I've had one that I refused to do because I thought it was a bit too much. But the weirdest one I've actually done was I can't remember what it was. I was in my. Weirdly enough, I always thought that like my weirdest ones would be furry related, right? Because furries can be quite out there with kings, right? The weirdest one I've ever done was with my human Abby. I needed to be in my Ghostface, my Ghostface Abby, right? And I needed to be completely nude, apart from boxers. I need to be in my boxers. I need to be in a gym, and I needed to be stepping on someone and bullying them in the corner of a locker room, and calling them slurs and horrible names, and being just an absolute arsehole to them.
Goddamn.
Like, and
Wow.
being fucking like they told me like the names they wanted me to call them and that, and they
Jesus.
I'm glad that video never went out because I would have been cancelled instantly.
No.
like do you know what I mean? But that's what they asked for. They wanted that, so
Yeah. I haven't got like a load of customs yet, so mine have all been pretty tame, just like dick ratings and like a burlesque striptease. But the tickle one was very fun. That was so much fun to do. And the client loved it, so it
Oh,
turned
okay.
out well.
Yeah, he did. He really loved it.
Mhm.
Once more already.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
let me know if you need a
I'll let you
partner
know.
again.
Oh, he loved you. He loved you.
Oh, really?
He loved us. So.
Hey, yeah.
Yuki, are you okay, sweetie?
You know, I just don't really do customs, honestly. I think I think the best are like, I think it's pretty tame. It's just like regular like foot stuff or like cucking. That's basically about it. I mostly just help other people with their collabs, or like for their customs. So
Yeah, it might
yeah.
might just be your gaze, like like programming. But when I look at you, your avatar is looking at me with your mouth open, and I was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh no, yeah, no, it's just animations. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Just what? But it's always worth checking.
Yeah, of course I
I didn't
appreciate
know if
it.
I'd like stepped on your.
Nah, you're
point or
good.
Interrupted you or something.
Nah, I'm chilling. I'm tipsy as fuck though. I'll tell you that. But
Yeah, because
She
I do
chilling.
that.
Yeah, I would be too, but I
I never
can't
had
risk it when I'm in
anything.
VR afterwards. Though.
No.
Oh God,
yes.
you would.
you get used to it though. If you're often more. No, you'll get used to it for
Got
sure.
my VR
I
legs,
can't
yeah.
drink in VR. Oh,
Can't do it.
I
No.
love it. It's so
Mm-mm.
fun.
When you pull off the
It's
headset,
so sick.
whoa,
It's
whoa.
Have you ever
God.
been drunk in VR, passed out in VR, and woke up in VR? Oh, it's a weird feeling. You wake up and
Oh, God, that is
fuck
hard.
am I?
Nope.
You must have
Not
had to
do that.
moisturize so much after that.
Oh yeah, no, I had like an
Dunk your face
hour-long
entire
bath.
moisturizer tub.
Get like the belt sander out onto your face. Just
Exfoliate. Kathiel, did you have any stories you want to share with us about your on-time stream or custom?
In terms of
Yeah.
on-time stream, yes. Customs, nothing special yet because I haven't done too many yet. But on the stream, maybe two. One was the sort of celebration anniversary thing that I did, and then two friends helped me. They were not even on the stream. They were just controlling two toys, while chat had other two toys. So I had 4 toys. It
Oh
was
my
Four
gosh.
toys.
it was an experience. It was an experience.
Holy shit.
And the other was, again, a year later, I had in another anniversary at a certain goal that was reached.
I'm
And
confused.
then eventually, trust me, it works. Trust me. It works, trust me. It works.
I wish I had a
Um,
plushie right now. Just show us the plushie.
Where on
us
the
on this
doll?
doll.
Where on the doll did chat make you fuck?
The other was a certain goal that was reached in a certain anniversary. Again, because it's where I do the most outrageous stuff, because, anniversaries, let's go all out. But this goal was later fulfilled several months later because it required a second version of a toy that I already had. That was the goal was about. I'm sure you all know that, the gravity coefficient.
Yes.
Yeah. I had
Mhm.
2.
Oh,
And use both.
Uh,
And use both.
shit.
And I did.
nice.
That was the goal.
and the gravity is
The
not
calm,
small.
matter of fact way
No.
you're saying that
Yeah,
is
that shit is
terrifying.
huge. That shit scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
I mean, I'm
Kathiel is
anal venom.
badass.
Definitely some kind of
It was an
I'd say.
experience. It was an experience. It was an
Yeah.
experience. But it was a fun experience.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing.
I actually have a question for chat, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
What do you guys have you guys enjoyed this this episode? Because it's the very first one we've done not in the studio. We've been in VR. It's very different. What have you guys thought? And bear in mind I can't see chat, so you're gonna have to tell me.
L-Star says yes. Been really fun.
Thank
Lofan
you,
says
Al.
very
Love
much
you.
so.
I for one
Yes.
really love this. This feels so much more comfortable for
Yeah.
me than the
You're
VTuber
the
version.
one-on-one actual communication in front of
Yeah.
another person.
No.
You get to see body language and everything like that too. Yep, I
Yeah.
agree.
Mhm.
We've had a lot less
Yeah,
cross
I
talk
like
in this
that.
episode because we can kind of see each other sort of angling the talk. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's
We
different.
passed the
Being able to
baton.
see actual body
Exactly.
language.
Here's the talking stick.
Oh,
Exactly.
yes, I have it.
Yeah,
Here you
of
go.
course.
Oh, I have one, but I can't show it on Twitch.
I have
Whoa.
a few of those too.
I have a few of those too. Yeah.
And
have
Yuuki gave us
batons,
both
yes.
them.
Yes, she did.
Just make it like
Dun, dun.
super shiny like they do in hentai, and then you can probably show it.
I think
Yeah.
Like a bar of light.
Yes, literally.
just pixelated.
Stick. There you go. There you go. There's the
Talking
talking
dick.
stick. There you go.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
there you go.
Talking
Got my
stick.
lips
No, unfortunately, you can't grab it.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
Or
look.
right there. Yeah,
Here
sure.
we go.
Kathiel just pulls out a whole lightsaber.
Where did it come from? Where were you hiding that?
But yeah, I've got one on mine, but on the other version of my every I don't want to change. But yeah, they fucking sick. Those little lightsabers.
I also got a lightsaber, but it's hidden.
And
I have a
chat.
saber, but
It's different.
Don't put that
I-
up you.
I mean, I have
Don't
something,
do
but
it.
I
That
have
shit.
to.
It may look good, but don't put that up you. Oh.
I won't. I don't want to get Atra in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
No
I,
early
uh,
vacation.
No, I meant
No early
I
vacation.
paint my
I was
torso
talking about you
black
dying,
because of-
woman.
For 7 day
I had to paint
vacation.
my torso black
Death,
because of
lightsaber.
flipping issues with this dress. So I'm not sure if I can or if it would be considered a hate crime.
Ay, ay, ay. One thing I would say, one question I do have. So chat, last call for questions. Make sure you get them in now. We'll do a little bit of a wrap up on like getting started in creation, summarizing that. I did want to ask a bit about avatars and sort of making some like traditionally hentai or fetish content. So we had an episode not that long ago about the Futanari phenomenon, in which we talked to creators of different types, trans, femme, and such, that do content with VR models that have futa dicks, basically. That's like best way I can put that. For those of you that make futa content or are considering futa content, what do you think the core appeal of that is, and how does VR sort of lend itself towards like changing your body presentation in a different way, so to speak, to make content? Because, for example, I know Lady Mystique has made futa content herself as well, despite being femme presenting with a pussy. Is it pussy on Twitch? Pussy.
I don't know if I can say it. Says it 3 times.
It's like Beetlejuice. Pussy, pussy, pussy. I don't know.
Coochie,
Ah, it's in the room with us.
machine.
coochie, coochie.
Then a cat appears because yes.
Well, I mean, since no one else is talking, I guess I will start. I didn't really know about futa content until I started in the VR space, and then I started watching more like hentai and stuff. And I mean, like, to me, like, obviously, like, I had friends that are trans and stuff, and that was, so when I first found out about futa, I was very confused by all of it, and I started learning more and more about it. And as someone who is very femme presenting, but in real life has been more or less, I guess, confused with their gender identity. Being in VR and being able to explore my body in a way that is not something that's available at all in real life. I mean, to an extent there is, but I realized that I enjoyed consuming that kind of content because I am pansexual and I am attracted to all sorts of different kinds of people, and it kind of opened me up to like more different kinds of people than I even really realized were around. But then it also kind of helped me learn more about myself physically too, that I was not really prepared to experience, which was really kind of nice. And it has helped me learn more about who I am as a person in real life outside of VR, which I definitely did not expect. And I've talked to both Yuuki and Mystique about those types of things, and being able to feel those things and with like phantom sense and stuff that I didn't expect to. It definitely is kind of a really cool thing that VR or just animated porn in general has the ability to give such a more opening experience to people. I think that is a big part of why it is so big. At least for me, in my eyes, that has been something. And my model itself doesn't have a futa, but when I was asking Yuuki to make my model, she asked if I wanted one, and I opted to go for a strap-on instead because I wanted it to feel more realistic to me when I'm in VR.
More
and so
authentic
that's
to your experience.
Yes, yeah. So that like my phantom sense and stuff like that is a little bit more in tune basically. Yeah, because while I do have that sense, my brain doesn't have the ability to fully connect with my VR body, and so like making it as realistic as what it would be in real life has definitely helped me learn that. But I do feel like I have learned so much that I did not expect to learn from just being in real life and doing real life types of content creation.
100%. Yeah. Kind of going off with what Andy kind of said. I feel like VR in general is just a very open and safe space, or depending on what type of community that you're in, of course, and who you surround yourself with. And I feel like VR is just a great platform for you to be able to really explore yourself and learn about yourself in more ways than you can IRL, right? IRL is a little bit harder when, with certain things and aspects and environments that we cannot really fully express ourselves. But in this platform, we're able to be fully whatever we want to be, right? And if you wanted the opportunity to try, who's going to stop you, really, right?
Exactly.
So, and then if having like-minded individuals who you're comfortable with and you feel safe with, who are able to help you explore those options, then go for it. Why not? You know what I mean? Just like how I've heard so many, like cis women saying like, God, I wish I had a cock, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
We just have to explore it one day and see what we're really, really into. Because if we don't, again, like our topics way before then, is like, if you don't try it out, how will you ever know?
And we need some avatars of men with pussies, okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know a few.
Yeah.
I know a few.
Really?
Oh, no,
We call them the Ken dolls. The
Yeah,
Ken dolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say it one time. You get one
Hipster
pussy.
Lunas is a furry male who has a pussy. Radabear, he's a furry male who has a pussy. There's quite a few, but no, I don't know any human ones, but all furries.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Are they called
Not
sea
that I want to
boys?
be one, because like
Is it
I'm
sea boys? Is that the
fit.
word?
Hmm?
I think that's the word when it's a male when with the pussy. I think it's called I think they're called sea boys, as in.
Really?
Really?
I think you're close. It's not exactly that though. You're close, but it's not exactly that. I know what you're talking about though. 100%.
I don't know the fandom or anything like that much, but I know that those two. They're the only two people I know that do it.
Yeah.
But like I'm quite femme presenting, so like I wouldn't usually have a male avatar with a pussy, but I think there are lots of people who would enjoy that, and there are so many like women with dicks. I think we need to see some more representation of.
Let's go. For real.
And also, you can choose your dick. Like how many IRL like how many IRL people get to like choose their dick out of like a catalog?
Yeah. You can like
Like,
ruffle through.
One of my fancy.
True.
Like I've got one on.
Am I
one,
feeling
and I've got one
normal?
on
Am
the
I
other with,
feeling
like, a
horse?
foreskin and coming
Yeah.
and like all
Mhm.
Well, I
sorts of
mean,
stuff.
technically, I have an
Very wholesome.
entire door full of
Yeah.
dicks I get to
Yeah.
choose from. So
Exactly.
That's
in
different.
your shoe rack.
my
Which is
shoe
actually
rack.
which is a great organizational tip if you have a lot of dildos. Get one of those door-mounted shoe racks, with all the pouches, and just keep your dildos in that.
And then label them
Yep.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
I could do one for like every day of the month, actually.
There's your content for October.
A different dildo a day.
Can you do like a tier list too while you're at it? That would be hilarious.
That'd be pretty sick,
Rate each
actually.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this one?
That would make a good video, to be fair.
Like presenting
You're welcome.
and reviewing a different dildo every day for a month.
That would be fun.
Oh,
The rose toy always gonna be S plus for sure.
Oh, duh. That one's
The
S
rose.
plus. For
That's
sure.
S plus for sure.
You could do Dicktober, I'll do Locktober.
Dicktober.
Rocktober. Yeah.
Rocktober.
Mm-hmm.
I may or may not
Coming
have plans
boys,
for
watch
that,
out.
Oh yeah.
I may or may not have plans for Rocktober, but
Ooh.
Last year I did it for
so
3 months
exciting.
until January. I actually got out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, since
That's
October.
epic.
Huh?
goddamn.
Wait, what did you say? You have something to say?
Or did you?
Hey, we ain't talking about that in this
We
platform.
officially know enough people to do an episode on chastity belts, like chastity, like
Yes.
pages.
Mm.
Because Johnny's
That
the
would
one
be
right now.
really
just
interesting.
Or just
Yeah.
chastity in general, because
Mm.
like I don't use
Just
a
in
device on
general, yeah.
Fuzzy, but he's basically in chastity 24/7.
We'll keep that for October.
I know about it.
Yeah, for October, because it's
Yeah.
October. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, October. heck
Content ideas. Woo!
Content ideas.
Let's go. Ooh.
yeah. Yay!
By the way, fully, you guys talk about whatever the fuck you talk.
October.
No fucking idea what you're talking about. I was just like,
I've just learned about it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll
Kathiel,
get
wanna-
there. Don't worry. Especially in the
Yeah.
furry community, they're really into it.
Yeah, do you want to find October for us,
Yeah.
Kathiel?
Define October in a very simple way that is friendly with Twitch.
Yes.
Chastity, forced or not, and the entirety of October. Locktober.
Okay.
So think
Okay.
Donut
Okay.
November with an added element.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
there's
have
an
a
extra
device.
barrier there.
You have an
It's
extra
not
device
associated
to
with
help
Proud Boys.
with it.
Okay.
Because that's where No Nut November started.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was the Proud
Yep.
Boys, who
It
are a very
continues.
prominent hate group.
No, I thought wasn't No Nut November for specifically for shaving?
Oh, that's
That was
Movember.
November.
Oh yeah,
That's when you shave everything but your mustache.
yeah,
November's
something about
a
that.
busy month.
No, I thought it was no shaving whatsoever.
No
That's
shave
what I thought.
November. Yeah, people do
Nope.
that too.
Yeah, I thought it was like you're not supposed to
November's
shave
mustache.
whatsoever.
I think it's just
November
for a mustache,
mustache, and then you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
just your mustache. It's a full charity and everything. But go back to the footer thing. If you do want to know a lot of good footer content creators, the Creator Tavern is, in my opinion, the best place for that. Would you agree? Because there's
I
so
agree.
many. The person who owns it is a footer. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's so many footer content creators in there, and that's where I kind of started off with my photography, because I'm not into that. Really, I'm not. That's not really my thing. But I used to help people take photos and do the videos and stuff like that for them. So the really good place if you want to get involved with all that is the Creator Cavern. They are fantastic, a great community as well.
Very cool.
If I can add to the footer thing as well. I may or may not do that from time to time, but
From time to
Tiny
time,
bit.
maybe.
yeah, just a tiny bit. I tried to keep it just the Food of Fridays, but it's an interesting thing because I actually didn't do it right off the bat. I like it personally, like
Yeah.
Andy saying I'm also pan, so I like everything, and I like that type of content because it's everything. It's all good. And it's another thing to explore, but even though I enjoyed it, I didn't actually make it for the longest time. It took me a year and something of altering my avatars and stuff. There was an entire period of an older version that had the stuff to do it, and I didn't even use it
Oh.
because I didn't know if the community wanted it. I had to make sure. I asked them for ages, and I started slow, just with a strap-on, because I didn't even do strap-on content. So I just started slow, adding strap-on at first, and then start teasing things until I realized, okay, people do want me to do that, or don't mind it. And so I started doing it. Free Fridays and stuff.
That's really cool.
As a little
Glad
extra.
you worked your way up to
As a
to that
little
point
extra.
where you're comfortable doing.
Yeah, you have to slowly work your way there to see what you're comfortable with, right? And and explore it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, sort of a
Yeah, there's that.
late breaking request, but Mystique, can you slide a little bit closer to me? Yuki, can you slide over to there? And Andy, can you slide over to where Yuki is? Unfortunately, the camera placement's kind of blocking Andy and Yuki, so I kind of want to make them a little bit more visible. My apologies, guys. I'm
Okay, hang on.
terrified if I
Yeah,
get out
you're
of this
good.
chair and adjust the
Don't-
camera.
Yeah, you're good.
I will not get back
Don't
into
move, it'll be
place.
fine.
You're fine.
It's okay.
Hopefully, you guys.
I
can
know
see me
this
a
whole
little bit
time
more.
I've been trying to make sure.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
Yuki
I was
wasn't
looking at
being
it too.
blocked, too.
Oh,
I've
sorry,
been trying to
guys. Yeah.
sit back.
It's all good.
Here you go, Yuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can see everyone a little bit
Yay,
better.
come
I
sit
know
by
it's
me.
towards the end of the episode now, but hopefully that helps a little bit, guys. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Hit my nightstand.
Oh,
Not my
did you?
nightstand, my mic stand.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's actually
my
me. You
mic
hit
stand
me.
the entire time.
Oh, yeah,
You actually
that
hit
was
me.
actually
You actually hit
Oh.
me. Actually, yeah.
Oh,
I felt that. It was on my back a little bit.
bang.
Oh.
You know, this is
Chat,
actually a good
ooh.
time to talk about Phantom Sense. Mystique, you wanted to define that earlier, I believe, the Phantom Touch.
Oh, I don't really have it, so does anybody else want to go?
I only do it whenever I'm inebriated.
I have
So
it.
Phantom Sense is where you basically connect with your virtual body and experience sensations that your physical body isn't actually experiencing. So, for example, if like there's an asset in Shangri-La that Andy absolutely hates called
It's so gross.
it's like a bubble of
Right.
like short tentacles that just wave and like go.
That sounds cool as fuck.
Like
What?
for me,
Oh,
I
it's
Show
like
me.
it, but I can't.
Show me later.
Ugh.
like for
Gives me
me,
the
I don't really
heebie-jeebies.
care because I don't have phantom sense, but someone who does would be able to feel those tentacles
Tentacles.
like on
Mhm.
their skin,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it would how they like the sensation is up to them. So it's just the process of connecting with your 3D body and feeling sensations in your brain that aren't actually happening to your physical body.
Good explanation.
True.
I think people
pretty
can,
much it.
There's
can
ways of
experience it
training
in
it.
some ways. Like I sometimes have phantom sense when I put myself on someone's avatar like this. I can kind of feel it. Like it's not very intense for me, but you can definitely feel a presence sometimes when you are sort of in VR.
Some people just have it in certain areas. Like I only
Yeah,
have it
certain
on,
areas. I know a lot of people are like
my
neck and
my
head.
shoulders.
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly. Because
Yeah,
it's so up close, and you're like, sometimes like people like try to tickle your nose, and you're like, oh, I gotta fucking sneeze. Give me a second.
Mm.
You know?
That's cool.
Yeah.
100%.
I do have phantom sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I had a bit of it, but I actually trained it. There's a way of training it. Right now, I don't have it. I had a watch that I added to my avatar that was the same as a watch that I use in my in real
Mhm.
life, and I made sure that everything was positioned exactly the same place. So the way I trained it was like touch the watch, and I'd see myself touch the watch and feel the watch, and the watch on my arm. So I kind of just started to slowly go by that, and the brain started to understand that if I'm in VR and I see a thing and I touch it, or something touches me, technically I should feel it because it's there. So I kind of started with a watch.
True,
and
yeah.
Went.
You trained yourself into it.
Training
That's
until-
yeah.
I really thought about that, to be fair, yeah. Because I wear
Until
a watch like this on there.
Yeah.
Never really thought about that.
so you can do something like that.
And
It
you
works.
can
feel like
It
experience it
can
if
be
you
slow, but
concentrate.
it worked out.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I feel like the longer I've been making content, the more I feel like in tune when I'm in VR. So
Yep.
like the longer time I spend, and on top of it, like the amount of time I've just like been doing content in VR too. Like I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now. So like when I first started, I was like, I don't believe anyone has phantom sense. That's a lie.
Yeah, I agreed.
And then once I like really started being in it, and then of course like interacting with other people, then I was like, oh, it's not. That's weird. And then of course like the longer amount of time I'm in VR, the more amount of days that I'm in consecutively too, like it does start to feel more and more real as you get used to looking at VR, as you start to like forget about the headset being in your face and stuff like that. So it gets easier too with time to start to feel those things.
Yeah.
True. Also helps a lot easier if you have a toy in you and you use OSC goes burr.
Yes, that too.
And there are people who can get off from someone sucking their VR dick, even if they're not touching their actual physical
Yeah.
dick.
That's wild.
Yeah, they have. The
There's
phantom
people who
sense
can just
that-
like imagine it, you know what I mean? Just use your
Yeah.
imagination. If they can do that, then why can't you do it with this, right? But have you, let me ask you this, have you guys ever seen anyone with phantom pain? That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes.
That's
It's-
crazy.
Yes.
It's
to me.
very strange.
Yeah, like you're in a club and you actually bump your shoulder. They're like, off, you know, and you're just like, oh, I didn't mean to, right? And but the thing is that you can't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
understand how that pain is, so it's like,
Valgoria's
It's weird, isn't it?
partner,
Because you'll like
Viv,
walk through people and then they'll
yeah, and you'll
they'll
accidentally
just go,
like clip on
do you
them.
mind? And you're just like, oh, sorry. that's
I'll be
alright,
like,
I'm
I'm
video
so-
game."
Whoa, you mean
Oh, I'm
to?
sorry, I didn't mean to go inside your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valgoria's partner Cosmic has phantom pain, and like if you take like swords out and stuff in a world where she is, you have to be very careful because like they were
not.
telling a story of like where she got slashed with a sword in VR and like screamed.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phantom Sense was that. Sort
Yeah.
I have a friend that did the same thing.
Really?
But she
Yeah, that's
stabbed
same here
herself
too.
by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
She stabbed by
God.
herself by accident
Oh,
on her
no.
arm, and she couldn't move the arm for a bit until the arm recovered because she was just feeling the pulsating phantom pain.
Oh,
She was like
God.
playing with a sword, and that issue that she didn't grab a sword well enough, and it actually let go, and she continued doing the thing, and when doing that, she... I
Oh,
No.
That's
Mhm.
crazy. That's
was
wild.
like,
Yeah.
and yep.
I've also heard a really funny theory that people who like first start playing VR and have immediate phantom sense, right? They told me that it comes in the form of a trauma.
Really?
That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I've heard that where let's say like if they were like, as a child, right, growing up, they didn't really get much parental love or anything like that, right? Or they weren't a very social type of being, right? And being in a space that's completely the opposite of it, it really has their brain like work overtime, right? To understand those feelings and compensate for what they've lacked. So in this
yeah.
sense,
Oh.
it is a form of trauma. And I'm just like, wait, I never really thought about it until you like tell me about like when you said it like that. So it's interesting to me.
That makes
That
sense.
is interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do a lightning round, because I know there's quite a few people in chat
Oh
that have
my.
questions about content creation, getting started in VR work, NSFW work, and so on. So I'm gonna go from Andy down to Kathiel. Basically, just give me 2-3 sentences, like your top 3 like tips for people wanting to get started in like VR, lewd, content creation, collabing, and so on.
Well, my biggest thing is to just do it. I know that sounds so silly, but like it's your biggest roadblock's going to be you. So if you just do it and start, it's going to be a lot easier in the long run. And just like don't hesitate to talk to other people and figure out what works for you and what works for other people, and then making it work for you. Don't copy obviously exactly what they're doing, but there's nothing wrong with learning from people in the space and then figuring out how you can make it work for you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much, Andy. Yuuki, how about you?
I would say the biggest thing would be is to be in a space where you're in very like-minded adult individuals who do the exact same thing, you feel safe to be around with. You're comfortable with asking questions and you don't feel like you're bothering them too much or anything like that, right? And then getting not just your own like perspective, but other people's perspective. Because sometimes, right, like when it comes to making content, you always will be your worst enemy. You will second guess yourself till the end of time. But you just need that one person just to be like,
Yeah.
stop thinking. It literally looks so good. Like don't stress yourself out anymore when it comes to it. But just like Andy, yeah, go for it, have fun, and just do your thing.
Great advice. Solid
Mhm.
advice. Mystique, how about you?
Build a network. Practice. Sorry, I'm trying to get the fingers. Build a network. Practice, and advocate for yourself.
Great succinct points. To answer the question about collabs, so this is the advice that I'll give. Number 1, you should be a known quantity. People should know what you're about and the content you make before you go out looking, especially for NSW collabs. Because if they don't know what you do and what you're about, if you're basically just a ghost in the space, no one has any reason to trust you whatsoever with collab. Number 2, being a content creator, being a streamer is mentally very taxing on people. The less amount of mental work someone has to do to collab with you, the better. So come with a plan, come with an idea, come being able to relate to what content that person does. So I would never say go to somebody and say, hey, want to collab? It's like, hi, you might recognize me from your streams, or we may have talked before. I think we should do X together. And that's infinitely more better than jumping into someone's DMs being like, we should collab 100% of the time. And number 3, be willing to take the no and move on. Like, if you're not making the inroads with people are busy. People don't know you. People have very small circles for a reason, especially in sex work. So if you can't penetrate that circle, it's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's just the way it is. There's so many people.
And taking a no isn't a bad thing. Like,
Absolutely.
I I
Yeah.
approached someone for a collab and we did a vibe check, and they messaged me afterwards saying I don't think we'd be a good fit, and that's fine. Like
That's how you show respect for
we
other
just weren't a
creators.
good fit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we didn't hate each other. We're not saying we're bad people.
Mhm.
Just wasn't working,
Absolutely.
and that's fine.
Yeah. How about you, Papa Welsh?
You're gonna fuck up. Just start. Like the mix between what you said and what Andy said. You need to actually just start. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna make mistakes, but you gotta actually start and do that and learn from it. That's the best way to learn is from your mistakes. Like the
Facts.
amount of times where I've done a shoot where I fucked up the audio. I no longer fuck up audio. A shoot where I did it where I had to reshoot like a good portion of it because I didn't press record. I had to do that. I organized shit to do with someone the wrong way. I didn't vibe with that person anymore, so I learned how to approach people a bit better to ask for shoots. You just need to start and go for it, and just simple as that, really, in my opinion.
Solid advice. Absolutely. Kathiel, how about you?
I guess what I can say is, have fun. Do what you like. And just do it, Don't hold back. Don't be afraid of screwing up. Just do it. Because you will. Like Papa Welsh said. You will fuck up. But keep going. Don't give up. Just do it. And have fun.
Absolutely. Kill your fear of failure. I sound like some shit
be like Shia LaBeouf.
like Twitter,
Right.
like
Yeah.
influencer, but kill your fear of failure. Just do it.
Kill the part of you that cringes.
Yeah.
True.
I'm
Facts.
working on it.
Do it.
Just do it.
I'm working. Do it. Do it.
Don't let your dreams be memes.
Do it. Don't cringe. Do it.
All right. This has been the Devs Podcast, episode 38. Sex work in VR. I want to thank all our panel here for joining us on this inaugural episode of the Depths in VR, and thank you so much for everyone's patience and advice. Get set up. It was fantastic, and I had a wonderful time doing this.
I mean, he
Definitely
done
will be
so
doing
well,
it again.
everybody.
Excellent.
We also just all
Yeah.
acknowledge how one actor has done. He's done sick. Could we all just acknowledge this? Man's done sick for his first proper time in like actual VR, like this space of shit. You've done mint, mate.
First
Thank
time
you. I
streaming in
appreciate
VR.
Expensive claps.
Expensive. Hang on.
Expensive
Claps. Okay.
First VR stream with 6 people.
Oh, yeah, true. First VR stream
And
too.
First episode.
Congrats.
Dealing with chat. Incredible.
We popped your cherry.
Yeah, I know. I feel very popped, very exposed right now.
I feel
You're a
very
VR
popped.
streamer now.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
For God's sake.
Just VR therapy sessions after this. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a chance to do plugs before we go. So starting with Andy, tell chat what you got going on.
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitch. Andy Bun Bun is my Twitch, or on Fansy is Andy Bunny. I'm also on Twitter. I stream pretty much every day of the week now that I am on my own. So I kind of switch off back and forth between Fansly and Twitch. So you can just kind of find me on any of those platforms at any given day of the week, pretty much.
Hell yeah. Andy,
Yeah.
thank you so much for making your return appearance on
Yes.
the podcast. You're always such a delight, and I'm so glad
Thank
that you're in
you.
the space you are right now.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yuki, how about you?
Oops.
So you can catch me at I usually use Twitter as most often. Other than that, I also have a Fansly. Soon to be doing Twitch once my 2D is done. Other than that, if you guys need a 3D model or you want to do some commission work, just check out my store page, yukitrap.store, and you'll be able to get your own custom Abby. Or if you have any questions that you need help with, you can feel free to hit me up there.
She has an amazing fuck machine asset.
Oh
Check it
my
out.
god. You mean my workbench? Thank you very much. Yeah. It's the workbench.
So that's yukitrap.store, so that's 2 U's, right? So YUUKI.
Yeah, 2 U's. Yeah. Dot store.
I'll type it in chat in a sec. Once I get my
Yeah.
headset off. Thank you so much,
I
Yuki.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. I was very excited to have you on because I've heard nothing but great things about you and your art and your avatars and your
Ooh, I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll let Mystique go last, actually.
Yeah.
Papa Welsh, how about you?
Yeah, just Papa Welsh on Twitter and on Fansly. But yeah, if you want to join a good community for making content that's in a safe space where you can actually, be yourselves and hopefully get some good stuff, yeah, join Celtic Cove on Discord. It's in my bio on Twitter. Just join there and talk to us on there. That'd be the best one for it.
Links will be in chat after I take the headset off. But yeah, thank you so much. Words cannot I have so much respect for you as a creator. You get it, and that's more than can be said for a lot of creators in space, especially masculine creators. So.
Oh my
Good
god,
job.
the number of people that I've had NSFW art with that have been cancelled. There's so much good art that I've had that I can't use anymore.
Oh damn.
I don't have
No.
that worry with you though.
Yeah.
But genuinely, you are 10 years younger than me, but you have a maturity about you that I really just do admire about you. So thank you so much for doing this podcast. It's always good to talk to you.
About made me cry, man.
It's true. It's true. Everything
true.
Atra said. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've needed this. Cheers, man. Thank you.
Cheers. Kathiel, how about you?
Let's see. I'm Kathiel VRC on pretty much everything. So Twitch, Twitter, Fansly, YouTube, which I'm starting now. I've been trying to do stuff on YouTube. But I do have other things. So KathielVRC.com to see everything. And upcoming stuff. And I try to have people have fun. Enjoy themselves. That's what the thingies I do. I also make avatars. So maybe one day I'll have commissions, but not right now. No time.
Awesome. Well, Kathiel, thank you so much. I've known about your work for such a long time, and it's really good to have a chance to actually chat with you.
Yeah.
Thank you
for
so
having me.
much.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There we go. Thumbs up. And last but not least, Lady Mystique, tell us what you got going on.
Hey, I'm last but not least Lady Mystique. I am mainly on Fansly currently. I will be back on Twitch soon. I'm currently building Mystique 2.0 with some ad hoc consulting with Yuuki. So keep a lookout for that. That should be coming in
He's hot.
however long it takes me to to slog through the YouTube tutorials. I do picture sets over on Fansly. I do audios over on Fansly. I post previews on Twitter. Check him out. Lady Mystique on Fansly. Lady_Mystique everywhere else. But you can see all of my links at ladymystique.tv.
Thank you so much, Mystique. Mystique was one of the primary impetus to getting the show done in VR today. Thank you so much for your help and advice, and for always being my co-host on the Depths. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. And also pushing me to do VR too. And this avatar also. Also, this avatar is courtesy of Lady Mystique. A lot of this has to do with Lady Mystique. So just a round of applause to Lady Mystique, honestly.
Aw, thank you.
Expensive claps. Expensive claps.
Expensive claps,
I-
everybody.
I bought him this avatar and I was like, you're doing a set with me!
That's the spirit. Heck yeah.
It took 3 days and took multiple hours, but we managed to get it done.
It was 4. We
Yeah.
did 4 sessions.
Oh, God, yeah. That was helpful for learning how to do this episode. But yeah, I've been your host, Atramentum_X, variety streamer and LewdTuber, now in 3D VR, whatever. All my links are in Atramentum.inc. That's Atramentum.ink. The Depths will be back on the 26th of September, where we'll be talking about the Dami Mommy phenomenon. And we'll be talking about creators who do Dami Mommy content and some of the misconceptions about that, and why platforms don't like Dami Mommy content. The panel I do not have assembled yet. I am working on it, so I do not have a preview video for you guys, but I'm looking forward to doing that, and we'll also be doing a Locktober episode in October. New idea that we just got there. But yeah, signing off for the Depths. Have a great night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.